Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. So yesterday I sent out a tweet at Infinity Ward and it read like this: I know the chances of a response are about zero, especially at this point in time, but I know you guys are more than capable of making an amazing game without specialists like in Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 4, or Black Ops 3, respectfully speaking. And I liked Infinite Warfare, by the way. Looking forward to your game. So I was thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, in my perfect fantasy world, there would be a very slim to none chance, and they would get back at me and they'd be like, you know what? We appreciate your excitement towards our next game and the words of enthusiasm or whatnot. So we're going to throw you a bone. You have any 3 questions. You have up to 3 questions that we will grant you, and about our next game coming up. You can ask them and we will answer truthfully and honestly. But the catch to this is that you can't tell anybody, at least not for a while, before our game comes out. So it kind of got me thinking a little bit. Now, granted, I know I very much live in reality like everybody else in this world, but the thing is that sometimes my imagination and my fantasy does get the best of me, and I thought to myself, well, hypothetically, what if something like that were to happen? And it made for an interesting discussion because I narrowed it down basically to 3 questions. I could have made it 5, I could have made it 10, but the thing is, 3 questions is that perfect sweet spot because everybody has their own preferences when it comes to Call of Duty. If I said 5 to 10 questions, then basically what would happen is everybody that sees this video would probably ask a lot of the same things. But if you narrow it down to just 3, it makes you think a little bit. You're like, well, basically I have to choose what's most important to me. Now, it doesn't just have to be Infinity Ward. It could be Sledgehammer, it could be Treyarch, or it could be Activision themselves. You never know, even though they're not really the developers or the publishers. But you guys get the point. You guys get the thought behind this. So the thing is, even if somebody that comes across this video that is not, let's say, a Call of Duty fan or whatnot, you just happen to come across this video and you're watching it, the same thing could happen with just a different developer of the game that you enjoy playing. Or for those of you guys that do watch Call of Duty, but at the same time, you'd really like to have this opportunity with a different developer that has absolutely nothing to do with Call of Duty. It's like, okay, what 3 questions would you ask them if you had this kind of freedom to ask, and if you were this lucky to be able to have that kind of opportunity? So now obviously I'm going to get to my 3 questions, and like I said, I'm actually very curious as to what you guys would ask, because again, you only have 3 questions, so therefore, what is most important to you? That's like making a commentary that's like, okay, what are the 3 most important things in Call of Duty? But when you actually are put on the spot and you have to ask the developers, all of a sudden things get a little bit interesting and it makes you think. So it's like, if I could literally talk to these guys, how would I form my words? Because obviously, if you're going to be a dick, obviously, and if you're going to be overpassionate or whatever the term you want to use would be, they're obviously going to basically revoke your privileges of asking that sort of a question. So the thing is this. Okay, so let's say whether it's Sledgehammer, whether it's Infinity Ward, or Treyarch, what would be those 3 questions? So let's get into my 3. So the first thing I would ask, and this is kind of a compound question, so again, I would try to squeeze in a little bit more info as much as I can, obviously, and I'm sure you guys will probably do the same. And basically, it's 2 questions in one, but at the same time, they shouldn't have a reason to not answer it because it kind of falls in the same category. And that question is, are you going to be bringing back any game features that were featured in your previous games and or modes? So in other words, what I'm indirectly asking is, are you going to bring back, let's say, the Specialist Strike package from, let's say, Modern Warfare 3 or even Ghosts, and or are you going to bring back any previous game modes like Cranked? We've only seen Cranked twice. We saw it the second time very briefly in Infinite Warfare, but it was more popular during the Ghost life cycle, but after a few months or whatnot, it just ended up dying down, which really surprised the hell out of me. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. The next one for me that I would ask is, are we going to be able to grind for guns or other forms of content in the game like we did in Infinity Ward, or even you know, like let's say like World War II or whatnot, to where you can actually grind for something like a gun or something else that you might want, like a special kind of camo that's not featured in the regular challenges and that kind of stuff, cosmetics, anything like that. And as you notice, that basically asked similar to Infinite Warfare and similar to World War II, because those are the two best versions of supply drops we've ever had. Because quite frankly, in Advanced Warfare it sucked, and in Black Ops 3 it sucked even more, and in Black Ops 4 at this point it's just damn near pointless if you ask me. But yeah, that would be question number 2. And you know, to be honest, with question number 3, it's actually quite different than I would even expect. But in terms of curiosity, I figured I'd ask anyway, and that is, now obviously Battle Royale is going to be something that they're probably going to incorporate into their game as well. They're going to have their own version of it with, you know, the old Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 maps, right? Put into there, pretty much just their own version of Battle Royale, similar to what's going on with Blackout, but different. So my third question would be, how is your version of Battle Royale going to differ from Treyarch's? And does that include health? Now again, that's another compound question, but at the same time, again, I'm trying to squeeze as much as possible. But if they were to limit me to this, to that, and say, hey, no more compound questions or whatnot, I would basically say, okay, then how is your version going to be different from what Treyarch did or is doing? So I figured I'd ask that because I am curious, because like I said, I do, even though I don't play Battle Royale, I respect it, and at the same time, for me personally, it wouldn't take more than 1 or 2 major things for them to change for me to be slightly interested and to try that out. And that's a subject for another video. In case you want me to go over that, let me know down in the comment section. So with that being said, we're at the end of the video now. Let me know down in the comment section what you would ask, and think very carefully and wisely on what you'd ask, and obviously which developer. So that's all I got for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and the commentary, and you guys have been absolutely killing it in the comment section and the feedback and with everything. The support has been absolutely overwhelmingly tremendous, and I thank you very much for that. And we're almost at 800 subscribers. My goodness. All right, guys, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, let me know, and if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.